for cornerbacks that we'll jump into. But yeah, let's start with the interior defensive line.
Yeah. So obviously, as everybody should know, it's me on the left and then Jamie's pick on the right. And we have a lot of similar players, and obviously we won't need to go into full explanations of all these guys. If you do want to see that, the video is up on the channel, so make sure you go check that out. We'll just kind of briefly talk our way through some of these guys here. I had Keanu Benton, the Badger, at number 5. Is the fact that he's a Badger, is that what pushes him down the board a little bit? Maybe. But the guy can do everything, and that is definitely what I liked about him. He's got good size. He can get after the passer, good against the run, solid overall player. But yes,
Yeah.
hey, and I say it every time we talk about him, if the Minnesota Vikings draft this guy, he would be in the same state as the Axe again. So good for him.
Yeah, dude, I like him a lot too. 6 sacks, 11 hits, 11 hurries, 1 batted ball down. That's what we need more than anything. We need to find pass rushers on our defensive line. That is literally, I think, in my opinion, is our number 1 need going into the draft, is a pass rushing interior defensive lineman. And this is a guy that you can get probably in the 3rd round or maybe even later, or he might be a surprise guy you see in the 2nd, but an 83.5 pass rush grade. I mean, yeah, it's kind of what we need. We ended up taking him quite a bit in a lot of our little mock drafts we do.
Kofi, what's going on? Benton is a true nose tackle. Definitely has the size for it, for sure.
Yep. And the pass rush ability that we need desperately. And then Mozzie Smith. This is another guy I really like from an athletic standpoint. Let me pop some of their stuff up here. I should have did that with Keanu Bennett. I don't know why I didn't. PFF, boom. So 79.9 overall grade, 68.5 pass rush, true pass rush grade, 7.5, 1 sack, 5 hits, 19 hurries. This is another guy. What's his size at again? Should have probably brought it. So 21, 6'3", 323. Give me 1 second here, everybody. All right. I have something. Hold on. All right. Anyways, so this is so he ended up having 1 sack, 5 hurries, 5 hits, 15 hurries, 6'3", 323, 33-inch arms, almost 10-inch hands, benched 34 times. And I just really liked what I saw on tape out of Mozzie Smith. It's been a while. It's been a while since I talked about Mozzie Smith, but yeah, I think he's a pretty solid player. I don't know if you have any thoughts on Mozzie.
I did have him over Benton, as we can see here, which, I mean, ours is kind of flip-flop here.
That's what it was.
Yep. I mean, definitely, obviously, as we saw, not as much of a get after the passer type of guy as Benton is, but he's definitely a big run stopper. I mean, obviously that size is something you just don't mess with.
Right.
Did like what I saw. I mean, athleticism for a guy of his size. Yeah, man, I'm a big Mozzie Smith fan.
Yeah, that's why I have
and he's not
Bennett. I have Bennett above Mozzie Smith, and it's just about that pass rushing ability. That's what I want so bad. Any of our top 5s, a lot of it is I'm going towards like what I'm looking for out of that player when I make my top 5, and that's the reason why I have Keanu Bennett on there. Obviously, with the no, I didn't put his PFF on there. I'll do that real quick for you all. I already said his thing, but the big one for him, 83.5 pass rush grade, and then the 6 sacks, 11 hits, 11 hurries, 1 batted ball down. For a big boy to create that much pressure, that's huge, especially if you were able to get him in like the 3rd round or something, like we already said. But yeah, I like him a lot. Number 3 for Casey is Kalijah Kancey.
Now, I would. It's weird because you look at these guys and you think like, oh yeah, you kind of look at when you're looking at the draft. As we'll see in the next slide, I had Brian Bruzzi ahead of Kancey just because he's bigger. But Kancey, if the Vikings had to choose between one of the two, I would rather have them take Kancey, as weird as that is. Like, I don't, but it's just, I just think that Kancey, I mean, NFL.com had his draft comparison as John Randall. And I think I can see it because of undersized, but tenacious, doesn't take plays off, gets after it, plays bigger than he is, big hitter for his size.
Yeah.
Just everything all put together is fantastic. I know Bruzzy had a little less production, a little bit slower, but I do like his size. But I would still, if the Vikings took Kancey, I would be thrilled.
What's going on, East Coast? Hey, speaking of East Coast, next Monday, we're going to have Dante on to do a 7th-round community mock draft with his help, obviously, because we're going to need it for sure, especially 7 rounds for us. So, yeah, definitely show up for there. Next Monday, it'll be a good one. 7-round mock draft with Dante from East Coast Gridiron. I'm excited for it. I'm super excited for it. Back to these guys, though. Kancey, man. Kancey. He's if he's there at 23, we gotta get him. We gotta get him. I know he's undersized. I don't think he's going to be. I think he's getting all these Aaron Donald comparisons, which is probably not very fair. But similar size, similar athleticism, and what did he ended up? I think Kancey had how many? I'll bring up his PFF stats up in here real quick. 91.8 overall grade, but the 92.4 pass rush grade. Again, the Vikings need interior pass rush more than any other position, I think, on our entire team. 8 sacks, 9 hits and 30 hurries. I want Kancey really bad. I think he's a guy that some people have coming down to our pick 23 at this point, but I have a feeling we're going to see him go off the board earlier than that, in my opinion, but we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of stud players in this draft that are just kind of just a little bit small.
Mm-hmm.
And he's another one. We talked about it earlier, but
absolutely. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Bruzzy since you got him there at number 3?
I like him too. He's another big dude that can rush the passer. I think he's a little bit more like of a raw type of player compared to Kancey. But he's still young, 6'5", 298 pounds, 4.86 speed for his size is pretty amazing. But he's another guy that I think you don't see. He didn't have as much production type. I think he had 3 sacks, 4 hits, 17 hurries, which is really good. I do like him, but man, I think Kancey, I would rather have Kancey quite a bit higher than Brian. Bruzzy? Bruzzy,
Yeah.
is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Who do you got? Who would you pick East Coast? Would you go Kancey or would you go Bruzzy or Kancey? Do you have Ika and Bruzzy over them? Ooh, I'll have to do that.
But that's one of the things that I liked about Bruzzy, which is why I did end up putting him at number 2. The size difference is a little bit bigger. Yeah, some of the production isn't quite there, but I do love the kind of like he said, just in that game, yeah, he's incredible. I have to go check those out as well. But in a lot of the highlights and tape that I watched, I just thought he showed up all over the place with his size. He's a disruptor, and that's what we need coming out of the inside.
Yeah, I like Siaka. I'm stuck on the
get after the passer
thing more than anything. We needed it desperately last year, and Delvin Tomlinson, who isn't a specialist in that area, was our number 1 pass rusher out there, and we don't even have him anymore. So I'm like, we need someone that can. We also do need a really big body though too. So we're kind of in a pickle at defensive tackle, I think. But
yeah, but I like Ika. I think Ika was my number 5 or 6 or 7.
Is that your top 5? Is that your top 3? East Coast, or is that how you say Bruzzy and then Siaka and then Kancey? The LSU defense in the national championship run. Okay.
But yeah, I liked what I saw from Ika. But yeah, like you said, kind of the fact that he didn't quite get after it as a pass rusher is the one thing I'm just like, eh. But also, if the Vikings took him, I'd be pumped because he's huge. And we can be poor at stopping the run.
Dude, we need it bad. Help. That's my top 3. So you don't have Jalen Carter in your top 3 in that order? Because Jalen, obviously, I don't know, or Jalen Carter comes off as pretty beast, I guess. I don't know. What did you think, East Coast, on Jalen Carter? Obviously, he has all those other issues going on, but other than that, man, he seems like a fucking monster.
I mean, unless
Obviously,
you're
he's
kind of looking
considered.
at them differently. I don't. Yeah, that's his next comment popping up here. I see where he's coming from.
Let's see.
When it pops up here, yeah, like doesn't really see him as a true interior because he
Oh
is kind of one of
yeah,
those guys that can
yeah.
just be a
That's fair.
disruptor from everywhere.
Right.
But I mean, obviously, we put him there, but
Well,
I see that. It's kind
they
of
just
unfair to put
considered
him
him
there.
on there or whatever. But yeah, no, Jalen Carter, obviously, that guy could be a monster, and he's going to be going in the top 10. So it doesn't even really matter for us as Viking fans, probably. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of our top 5 list for defensive tackles. I think he's a fool for not taking with team outside the top 10. Yeah, I know. I don't know about that.
I think
He's the true
I think
best
that's
defender in
just
this draft.
I think
Okay.
that's just some confidence. That's just him trying to be confident, saying there's no reason because I'm going to be taken in the top 10. A team who doesn't. If I'm sitting there at
He's going to
11, he
get
didn't
taken in
talk
the
to me.
top
I'm
10.
not going to be like, oh no, he didn't come talk to me at the draft or before the draft. I'm disappointed. You're going to take him at 11. So, but
I
yeah,
know,
I
dude.
don't see him
It's
getting
gonna
there.
be. I think I have a bad feeling Chicago or Detroit's gonna snatch him up.
If Detroit gets him, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, I'd be. Yeah, dude.
If
They
Detroit
probably
gets
will.
him
They
and then
probably
like
will.
takes
I
Hendon
don't think
Hooker
he's
like
going out
later
in
on
the
in the
top
first
10.
round.
Just like East Coast says, the best defender in this draft. That guy's a monster, man. It does. It sucks. You want him. That's why it's like it sucks getting to the top 1 sometimes because those are the players we can't get half the time.
Yeah, and could you imagine Jalen Carter against Bradbury?
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah, that would
gross.
not be good. What's going on, Yogi? I might as well back up a little bit here for you. Let's see. Do I have that up already? Oh, I do. Oh. All right, Yogi. Yogi made this for us. I already showed this once. I said I would show it a couple times. This awesome graphic that Yogi made for the draft. On the draft day, we're doing a draft party with all the Purple Gang boys, Purple Pocket Podcast, Purple and Gold for days, GG, us obviously, Purple and Gold Media, and Minnesota Sports Talk. And we're giving away a Justin Jefferson PSA 10 rookie card, a good card on that show. So everybody should join there. And on this show, we're giving away, of course, like we do every show, Justin Jefferson rookie card. Hashtags go in the comments, like the videos, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll run that at the end of the show, pretty much like we always do every single time. So yeah, dude, that was super dope. Yogi, yeah, dude. Yeah. Yogi's the guy, man. You got some talent there, dude, for sure. That graphic's awesome. And I saw what you made for East Coast too. I saw that post as well. That's good work. That was good work. I took JC off my board because all the issues having. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, no. I mean I don't know. With the way everything turned out, I'm not too concerned. I mean, the fact that he was racing, I mean, obviously, yes, like the death of the teammate and the guy on staff, like I get that's when you look at that in that situation, you do look at it in a different way, but I don't worry about it I mean, he was at the end of the day, he was racing probably. I mean, he said he wasn't drinking probably a little bit, like I'm not like, obviously you don't condone that type of stuff. But that's what, kids will be kids, especially college athletes.
Oh,
But
yeah, dude.
then obviously dealing with a lot of stuff, so he's a little out of shape, but kind of whatever.
We just did our linebacker top 5 linebacker video that comes out. What day did that come out? Probably Wednesday. And then we're gonna probably next week again, since we got more people in here. Next Monday, we got East Coast. We got Dante, East Coast Gridiron, who's in the chat, obviously, coming on for a 7-round mock draft. Do a community mock draft. Probably our last really big one. We might do more going into it. Obviously, there'll be 2 weeks or about a week and a half until the draft at that point. But that would be a good time. That'd be a good time. Favorite linebacker in the class. Heck yeah, man. We looked at Overshown. I like Overshown a lot. There's no linebackers that just they don't like really seem to stand out to me, but there seems to be a few of them I'd really like if we had a 2nd round pick, which we don't. But there's also some really solid ones in the 3rd round potentially.
Yeah. And then when we do get to it, our linebackers aren't necessarily, we didn't choose like 3-4 edge rushing linebackers.
Yeah. We kind of kept the linebackers as more middle linebackers, which I also approached with the idea of coverage because I think that's what we need in our linebacker group back there. Time to show my amazing graphics. Pretty much back to that right here. This is all I got for graphics. I didn't steal that picture. That picture is just I made that from art. That's art. Hashtag release the Bobo. I don't know what that is. I mean, what is that? Well, I don't know what I'm doing. Release the Bobo. Where am I getting that from? Who's Bobo? Enlighten me. It's probably something stupid that I should know.
Jake Bobo. Oh.
Jake Bobo. Is this the wide? Is this the wide receiver? Or is he a corner?
Wide receiver from UCLA.
Why? Okay. Yeah, I think I might have heard you guys talking about him at some point on Raps channel last week. I haven't checked them out yet. I will definitely have to check them out. We'll definitely have to check them out. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I'll do that right away after the show. Let's dive into some cornerbacks, guys. This is our top number 5, Andrew. This is our top 5 from last year. Number 5, we had Andrew Booth, which obviously went to the Vikings. Obviously, we didn't get to see a lot of them. Obviously, a lot of Viking fans are already out on him.
I'm not
out on him.
yet.
It's too early for me. I don't know. I think East Coast. I think you weren't big on Andrew Booth, right? 9 p.m. Ooh, okay. Perfect, East Coast. I'll tap into that one for sure. But yeah, we had Andrew Booth here, which a lot of it was just because he just looks so good at going up for the ball. Like he just looks like the receiver when he goes up for the ball. I know he's gotten burnt a lot and stuff like that, but I did like him. He's not great, LOL. We'll see. We need him to be great. Dude.
We need him just to be good.
Yeah, we need him to be good. We need him to be a solid body back there. Let's see how you think about our top 5, which isn't.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to give up on him quite yet.
No. We'll see what he has. I think he does have good ball skills still. But we'll see. Maybe that's all he really had. But we'll see. He still had that hype. We had Elam number 4 last year, which I think Elam ended up having a pretty solid season. Let me go see what he even had. I never even looked into him. But the one guy that we missed on
was Woolen.
Was Woolen. Where were you at? Where were you at last year with Woolen, East Coast? Where were you at last year with Woolen? Hey, what's going on, Skol TY? Good evening, man. Nice to see you in here, buddy. Got that hashtag Skol going already. Let's go. Yeah, I know. I liked him too. That's what we had him as. This was a good cornerback draft last year. Elam was he considered like a safety cornerback hybrid at this time?
I forget. I don't think so.
Booth the truth. Number 3. Woolen was nutty at UTSA. Yeah, we missed out on him for sure. Damn, dude. Let's go East Coast. See, this is why he's going to be on the show next Monday. Tariq was in his top 5. Let's go.
And obviously, Trent McDuffie, kind of the guy that everybody thought the Vikings were going to take last year.
Probably should have.
Yeah, didn't quite work out that way after the trade back and everything. But McDuffie, I mean, I think he was in and out with some injuries for the Chiefs, but when he did play, I think everybody saw what they were expecting to see from him.
Yeah, I felt like this was a very straightforward cornerback draft. Other than Woolen, like a lot of these guys, like they got the top 3, pretty close to being right. Well, Stingley had a solid. He plays for Houston. I don't know what you say about that.
And I mean, yeah, and with the coming back from the injury, I think it would. I mean, we kind of knew coming in he was going to be a little bit of a project, mainly just because he did have to work through some of the injury issues and missing quite a bit of time in college. But
Stingley was your number 1. It was a tough one between Stingley and Sauce.
If it wasn't for the injury, it would have been
the injury was kind of what it was. Obviously, Sauce is amazing, so it was like, okay, we kind of got that right. What's going on, Devin? What's going on, man? Wanted Elam last year overseen, but I'm cool with him now. That's where I think we kind of were like that too. Obviously we didn't get to see anything with Scene, but the one thing with Scene that you gotta love is well, first off, he runs a 4.3. Second off, he just lays massive hits and he wants to stack bodies. So I'm excited for Scene this year, for sure. for sure. And then number one, we did end up having Sauce on here. Obviously this is one that we hit right. Sauce has probably been one of the best cornerbacks to just come in the league. One of the best rookie seasons for a cornerback in a long time. I'm trying to think of another player that had a similar production as a rookie as he did.
Darrelle Revis, probably.
Terrell Revis. Yeah, probably. And I don't even know. I don't even remember his freaking rookie season. I was too young for that. Well, not too young, but I didn't pay enough attention.
Yeah.
Coast or East Coast Grid. I live in SA, so I've seen a lot of UTSA games. Yeah, San Antonio. So that is our top 5 from last year. It wasn't a very difficult one. We missed out on Woolen, obviously, and then
but I remember looking at a lot of those like low down guys and thinking you could thinking that our 4 through 6 could have been kind of intermixed anyway. Any way we wanted them to be.
Yeah. It was why I really watched UTSA, but Woolen stood out. Hell yeah, man. No, should have did it. Don't watch enough. We don't watch enough.
Yeah.
This is
not the biggest college football guy.
This is our mock top 5. This is the noob top 5. But hey, we hit on 3 of them. We hit on three of them. This year, top 5. Emmanuel Forbes is our 5th. Where are you at with Emmanuel Forbes, East Coast? Because I think he looks really good. He has everything, but he is obviously that twig. Do you think that matters? Where are you at?
A taller Cam Dantzler with better ball production.
Yeah. I mean, his production is insane, dude. Is insane. I'll bring his stuff up. Let me bring his stuff up here.
Five is a good spot. I think that's fair for him for sure.
It was hard because I like him more than Cam Smith. They had Cam Smith coming to the Vikings on pretty much every mock in the beginning of this whole process, but I just liked Emmanuel Forbes more, man. I just did. Yeah, I'm more of a production guy for sure. I'm gonna look at someone's production, and then if they get if they run end up having a really good combine, or if I'm split between 2 people, I don't know which one I want to go with, and then one has a really good combine compared to the other one, it's kind of more of that type of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't as big as Cam Smith. Emmanuel Forbes, obviously 87.2, 3 touchdowns,
6 interceptions.
6 interceptions brought 3 of them back for touchdowns. That's just something that he has the record for the most interception touchdown. He has 6 of those as well throughout his college career. Yeah. Or wait. Oh, more than that. I didn't even look at this. I don't know. That's insane. That's you can call pick sixes kind of lucky, but at some point, that shit's not luck. That shit's not luck. 89.3 coverage grade, 79.7 run defense. I don't know why they have the coverage grade on here 3 times, but he's just that good.
Because they really want you to know how good he is.
Yeah, this is how good he is in coverage. They had to put this shit on here 3 times. Dropped interceptions 2, forced incompletions 9. Yeah, this guy, he has all the production, man. It's just his size.
Too Evil to Hope, how's it going? We're doing well. How are you? Hopefully your night's going well.
Too Evil, you won a card last week. That I still owe you. So you gotta hit us up on social media somewhere so I can get that sent out to you.
Yo, we need JD in here.
No worries, East Coast.
We need JD in here to tell you guys what's up because there's 13 people in right now and there's only 3 likes on this.
Hey, so let's get some likes on the video. Hashtags go in the comment. Everybody in here, let's get some likes on the video, guys. Push this. We need to beat that YouTube algorithm. It's a tough one to beat, man. It's a tough one to beat. All right, Let's jump back into these cornerbacks here. I really appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, hit us up on Twitter. Got that card for you. Been holding it. It's all good. DJ Turner, 4.2 speed and top-rated cornerback in press coverage in the past 2 years. DJ Turner, we didn't have him on our list. Oh yeah, we did, or not on that list, but yeah, 4.26 speed. What did I even have? I forgot what I have about him. I know he ended up not making our top 5 at the end of all of this. And that's going to be huge. I mean, in Flores's defense, it's going to be all about kind of press coverage. So you're going to see a lot of that one-on-one press coverage, which is going to be, huge. And that's kind of like we're looking for those type of players. But back to the top 5 here. So number 5, we had Emmanuel Forbes. Yeah, dude, that could be huge. That's a good point. That's a good point. It's going to be interesting to see what we do in the first round. Is everybody in here? Are we thinking that it's either going to be trade up, we go get one of those quarterbacks, or we trade back and we go get and we get some picks and maybe we get Hendon Hooker or something. Where you
I
at,
don't
Casey?
think they pick at 23 unless there's like unless something ends up where you can't like as a can't miss guy there. I don't foresee them picking at 23 personally. Good. Do you guys agree that since the cornerback prospect's so deep, that it'll be better to access a variety of other positions for the Vikings? As in like you can wait to take a corner later on and kind of work on other positions first. If that's what you're asking, then I agree for sure.
Do agree, and not just that, but part of me is just I don't want to pick another. I would though if someone's there, like some of these guys that pretty much any of the guys that we have coming up next. If they're there, I wouldn't be mad. But I want something different, to be honest, than a cornerback. We've just been sucking every time. Obviously, we have a new GM, we have all that stuff, but we've been just not good with picking cornerbacks, dude.
Trading down is the right move. Do you guys think the Vikings are seriously considering trading for the Cardinals pick? I know I had heard there was a little bit of steam.
Yeah,
steam going on with that. I don't know. It would all depend. Kind of. I don't know. It'd be interesting if they did. Then they're going for a quarterback. But I don't know. I don't think. I don't foresee him getting up that high. I think they would only jump up for a quarterback if one of them slips to like maybe 6, 7 or 6 through 10 maybe. But I just think that trade up to 3 would be a little bit too rich.
It'd be crazy. We'd give up at least 3 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
If at least, in my opinion, at least 3 first-round picks, unless we were able to throw a player in there or something like that. I don't see it happening. I have a hard time believing that we'll trade that far up and that many assets for a quarterback that is such a high. It's a high reward, but comes with such high risk that we have to give him a couple years to develop. It just that's a lot of picks to give up for a guy. I mean, just think if you give up 3 first-round picks, you can't even set him up for success. Like you're going to wait 2 years probably for him to get ready as a quarterback, and you're not even going to be able to use picks to help him prior to that. You won't even know what you got yet, type of thing. I don't know. That's going to be a hard one.
I could see it if the Panthers decide to go Richardson at 1. And then either Stroud or Young is left at 3. Then I could see it being more serious. But also, if that happens, I would see that the price of that number 3 overall pick go up a little bit more if it ends up that Stroud or Bryce Young ends up being there at that spot.
That's a good point, though. I mean, Anthony Richardson sitting there at 3 would probably give us the best value to move up to grab a player.
Right. Or do the Panthers look at trading down again?
True.
They might. Who knows? It'd be interesting.
Either way, like if we moved up to the 3, I'd be like, man, this is a sketchy decision, but I would be super pumped. I would definitely pumped.
Yeah.
Riley Moss.
Riley Moss. I know. I had heard Riley Moss's name come up as of late, for sure.
That's a good point, Kofi, because we really do need those press coverage type guys. Porter has all the skill to be great, but needs some coaching to refine him. Yeah, I agree as well. I think he does kind of need. He feels a little raw compared to some of these other guys that we have, but he's lengthy, man. He's extremely lengthy. Let me bring up his stuff here. Boom, bring that up. So, like you said, last year he had a 73.2 PFF grade, 77.4 in coverage. His run defense was definitely very not that great. No interceptions, no touchdowns, obviously. Allowed 143 yards, which is very good, very good. 63.6 passer rating allowed, very, 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 very solid. Dropped interceptions 0, forced incompletions 12, for 44th, which is pretty good. Yeah, they have coverage grade on. I don't know why they did that with the whole coverage grade thing. 50% completion percentage. But like I said, 22, 6'2", 193, 4.46 speed. And I believe he has like 34-inch arms. Something crazy like that.
Yep. He has all the measurables you want, but yeah, definitely would probably need the refinement.
Yeah, and Porter's someone that's there. If he's there at 23 and we ended up picking Porter, he's one of those cornerbacks that I'd be totally fine if we ended up making that pick.
Yeah.
And I agree definitely with Devin here, 100%. He would be great if Stroud is taken first, Richardson taken second, and then could get Bryce. If Bryce Young is there at third, trade everything you can to go get him, in my opinion. I wish he was a little bit bigger, but I seriously think Bryce Young's the best quarterback
I
in
would
this
even say
draft.
if Stroud is there at 3, I mean, maybe not everything, but I
Even
would say you
Stroud.
go up and get Stroud
Oh,
at
yeah.
3 because
Any of
I think
those guys.
I do think Stroud is the safest pick out of the quarterbacks in this draft.
I think that's fair. I think
I think
it's
he's safe.
close. I
He's
think he's
safer
just
than Bryce
bigger.
Young because of the
He's
size.
big. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Like
makes
I'm not
sense.
saying he's gonna have the better career. I'm just saying if you want the guy that's
Right,
safe, he's
right,
probably the
right.
one. I think his floor is a lot higher than what Bryce Young's floor is.
So number 3, Casey has Christian Gonzalez. I have Deontay Banks.
Christian Gonzalez is the guy who's gaining a lot of steam to be a top 10-ish pick.
Yeah,
Just, I mean, young, size, speed, production. He has it all.
yeah, definitely. I mean, he has. Let me see. Let me find him on here, my list here. He's only 20. He's only 20 years old. He's not even 21 yet. Height 6'1", 197, 32-inch arms, 9.5 hands. Ran a 4.38. 4.38. 1.5 or a 1.54 10-yard, 41.5 vert, which is huge. Huge. Brought 11 ones. So to run a 4.38 at 6'1", 200 pounds, and you're not even 21 yet. That's the big thing with Christian Gonzalez. Also, he has let me put this up again. 83.3 last year, PFF
4
grade,
picks.
83.9 in coverage, 4 interceptions, 3 touchdowns. I forgot this is touchdowns allowed. That was my mistake earlier. 3 touchdowns allowed, but 495 yards, which we did look at Porter Jr. and he had 145 or something, which is crazy. 1 dropped interception, 9 forced incompletions. I really like. He's my number 2 guy on this list. Dude, I don't know what it is. What's going on, by the way? What's going on? Dude, I don't know, man. When you go, Banks has something. Banks has something.
I like Banks is my number 2. I like Banks a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And no, isn't Banks your number 1?
Oh, he is, isn't he?
I think he's your number 1. Dude,
Banks
I
is my
think
number 1.
There's something with Banks, dude. I think Banks is going to be a stud. I think he's the top cornerback that nobody's really talking about out of these top 4. Although out of Gonzalez, Banks, Witherspoon, and Joey Porter Jr., I think Banks is getting the least amount talked about, and I think it's going to surprise people. I think he's definitely going to surprise people. He just, dude, and first off, so we'll go into him a little bit, and he's someone who is, let's see here. I got, let's see. His coverage grade and everything isn't as great, but he's and he's a little over 23, but he's 6 foot, almost 200 pounds, 31, about 32-inch arms, about 10-inch hands, ran a 4.35, a 1.49 10-yard split, 42-inch vertical with 11 foot 4-inch broad, which is insane. And I judged him off of what I saw on tape before I even seen what his athleticism and everything was. So I don't know. I really do like Deontay Banks. He's not talked about a lot. I do think a lot of people are going to be like, how do you put him in front of Joey Porter? Some people are, but we do like him a lot. Obviously, Casey really likes him. He could his grades and stuff isn't as high as some of these other guys. Let me bring those up real quick as well. 72, 74.3 in coverage grade. I would have liked to see more. Allowed 4 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. All that stuff's not too great, but I don't know. There's something that you just see when watching this kid that I really, really, really like.
And that 4.35 is pretty legit.
And that's besides his speed. Like, we really like what we saw from tape on him. Only quarterbacks in the draft class I like is Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson. Give me Drake May over the top quarterbacks of this draft, though. You got Drake May over Bryce Young, Mateo?
I
haven't
don't know.
looked enough into Drake May yet. So
I just
don't
don't
really
like
know.
the look forward to next year when it comes to quarterbacks because I just think it's going to be too tough. I think everybody's going to want those quarterbacks next year.
Yeah, but you just give them everything you have as long as someone is sitting there. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know what to do. I don't want to like. We might not get a quarter. We might not be able to get a quarterback we want this year. That's the hard part. So we might not have a choice. And I'm not keeping Kirk Cousins.
But I,
That's
I
not
just I
happening.
just don't know if they would risk it to trade up to the top 2 pick to get. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But
Could
obviously,
be.
we'll know more.
Could be
We'll know more in
crazy
a few weeks.
or Skull. So our number 2, Devin Witherspoon is what Case said. I had Christian Gonzalez. We already talked about Christian Gonzalez, and then we might as well go up here. He had Deontay Banks as his number 1. So this be interesting because if Deontay Banks ends up being a stud and a half, Banks worries me slightly because he coasts on his athleticism. He should have been better in college. Still like him though. Yeah, I think he's somebody that he's good. But like he makes amazing plays. Like he can do it all, but he's someone that's going to he's going to have someone that's going to be a little bit higher of a ceiling than you have to refine him. You have to teach him some technique. Will he be able to do that? Like you said, he kind of banks on his
Yeah,
athleticism a little bit too
no
much,
pun
which you
intended.
do see in a good way. But you think Banks is overrated? See,
I'd like to get
I
him
would
in
have
with
to
I'd like to
disagree.
get him with Brian Flores and see what happens.
Yeah, I would have to disagree. I really do. I think Deontay Banks is I think he's underrated, to be honest. Who knows? I could be really wrong. I'm not a draft expert or anything, but
We need
we
East
do
Coast
like him.
back in here to tell us if we're stupid.
Yeah, pretty much. Next week we'll know. Young is the only quarterback I would have over May, and even with that being 5'9" and his playing weight is not even 200. Yeah, I love Bryce Young so much, but I have to agree, man. The 5'9", 200-pound thing is very sketchy in my
It is.
opinion.
But with the athleticism like him, if he
Yeah, I
doesn't
don't
get
want
hit,
Cam Smith. I don't know, Skull. Like I'm not feeling Cam. Not in the first round, anyways. I wouldn't mind him. Like we traded back and got in the second one, but he didn't make our top 5 here. What's going on, Justin? What's going on, Skull brother? All we got to do is talk to Sean Payton. We can put a bounty on Cousins to take him out this season, so we can get a first pick next year. Hey, I mean, we're getting a little dirty here, but whatever we got to do, win a Super Bowl, Back to the quarterback thing though. Devin Witherspoon, in my opinion, it's hard to beat him for me because it's all about the one-on-one coverage. I think Devin Witherspoon is the best coverage corner in this draft. Let me bring up some stuff here. 92 grade, obviously a 92.5 coverage grade last year, 35.5% completion. He allowed a passer rating of 25.3, 3 interceptions, allowed 0 touchdown. When you're talking about production versus athleticism or anything like that, obviously Devin Witherspoon ended up not doing anything in the combine, I don't think. So we didn't really get to see where he's at there. This guy has all the production in the world. And at the end of the day, I'm banking on your production more than anything. These stats are absolutely crazy in my opinion. And that was an easy decision for me.
and you do like to see the improvement every year as well.
Yeah.
Like he got better every year that he
Every
played.
single year. So it should be interesting. Like maybe he doesn't have the highest ceiling, maybe because of the athleticism and all that stuff.
He's a big
But
hitter too. I definitely